guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is all about Charlotte Tilbury. I recently picked some stuff up during their summer sale. They do one every single year in like August, like kind of the end of July into August, and I picked some stuff up. So I have an influx of some new Charlotte Tilbury products, at least new to me, but I thought it'd be fun to dig out all of the products in my collection. I have quite a few nowadays, and I thought I would let you guys know what I think's worth it, what I think isn't worth it, the in-betweens, the yeses, the nos, the type products, you know what I mean? I've purchased all of the things here myself. I even have a perfume. Yes, Charlotte Tilbury has a perfume. If you didn't know, it's called Scent of a Dream. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I feel like in the last, I don't know, maybe year and a half, I've been more into Charlotte Tilbury than I've ever been before. I think getting into neutrals and liking that kind of soft luxe glam look, which I feel like is what Charlotte Tilbury is kind of known for, makes it make sense, I guess, that I've been more into the products. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it without further ado. I was gonna do like a whole get ready with me style video, and I just felt like it was just too long and rambly and not to the point. So let me know if you like this style better and if you want to see other brands in my collection. But hopefully I'll have some inserts that I can add because most of my face today is Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to start with an iconic product. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This retails for $44, and this is a very glowy product. It has like a doe foot applicator. I'm sure, I mean, you've probably seen this, right? Like you've seen some Charlotte Tilbury products, and if you have, this is probably one of the ones you're most familiar with. I have the shade Fair, and I think this is worth the money. This is a beautiful glowy product. I like using it actually as a primer as opposed to a highlighter on top of like my makeup, but you could also do that. There's a couple different ways you can kind of use it and make it work for you. I love the glow that this gives on the skin. There's something about it that's really ethereal and radiant without being super sparkly. There's no like discernible shimmer. You just are glowing, and I find a lot of the glow products from Charlotte Tilbury end up that way, and it's definitely the reason they're so hyped, because there's something special and just so delicate about that formula. It's hard to capture, and when you're a little bit over the line this way, a little bit over the line that way, it changes it, and it kind of just straddles perfectly the line of glow, but not metallic and not sparkly, but also not too natural. Like it's there, you can see it. I also feel like this product is worth the money because it's going to last you. I've had this for many years now, and I just feel like you could use this every single day. And if you're using it that often and going through it a little bit faster than, let's say, me, I still think it's gonna be worth it for you because you're using it every single day. It's just gonna last you for that price. I know there might be some comparable dupes out there. I haven't tried many of them, but I think the real thing is worth it. I will say this, although it's not sparkly, it can emphasize some of my pores here on my skin, like closer to my nose. So I try not to put too much of this product there, but I still wear it as like a primer and a base type of product. And I actually like this product on its own as well as like a glowy lotion when I'm doing almost a no makeup look. My one complaint about it is that the writing on the outside of the bottle has come off with time and wear and use, and that's not very luxurious, is it? So I wish that didn't happen, but I would still purchase this again even with that. So I really love this. Moving on down the line, I've never tried any foundations, I've never tried any powders, but I have tried a concealer. The Magic Away concealer, you guys, sucks. I know a lot of people know this, but just in case you don't know and you're like me and you ordered it, don't. It has 3 stars on Sephora for a reason. This is a twist up concealer pen type thing. I thought it was gonna be kind of in the realm of like Touche Eclat from YSL. Why they put this thick primer in a twist up where it comes out the sponge, I have no idea, because the product's so thick it doesn't really push out through the sponge, so it kind of gets trapped. The sponge becomes heavy. It's not like coming out. You kind of have to like wiggle it and just use it in ways that you shouldn't. I don't particularly even love the product itself. Like it's fine, but it's just a little bit thick. It has some coverage, but it's not like this under eye kind of easy product you'd expect it to be based off of other products similar to that in the same packaging. On top of, the packaging also sucks because the freaking cap is either impossible to get on or impossible to get off. It is just not a good one. Just don't pick it up, guys. Do not buy it. Do not get sucked in to the Magic Away concealer. And all of that's on top of the fact that it's $32, which isn't, I mean, I guess it could be more expensive for Charlotte Tilbury, but it's not worth even a fraction of that, okay? Don't buy it on sale even. Moving on to bronzers. I don't have any powder bronzers. I only have creams. So the two that I have, this one is the newest one. It's the Beautiful Skin Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. I have the shade 1 Fair. There are 4 different colors of this. I really love this bronzer. It is $56. I don't know why I forgot that. Like, I bought it. I forgot it was that expensive. And I'm mentioning price just because sometimes it's good just to jog your memory of like how much this shit costs. Is it worth it? Is it not? But there's also the point of like when we're talking about luxury brands, like, you know, what's worth it is going to be up to you. And it's like any of the stuff, it's like they're just a luxury brand. They're going to price all their stuff in the luxury category. They're never going to put out a bronzer for $20 just to do it. That's just not their price point, you know? Like no matter how much it costs to make or how much, you know, they're just, the margins profit no matter what. They're just not branded that way. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. Let's not go off on that rant. I really like this bronzer. It's one of those kind of cream to powders. The color on this one I actually really like. It's a little bit almost olivey. Like it has a bit of that. I like using my brush. I use a dense brush, but I've seen other people use like fluffier brushes, almost like something you would use in a powder bronzer. And for me, it adds a really nice sculpt and look to my cheeks. I love a cream in a pan. So I love kind of the formatting of it. It's very large. It has 21 grams of product. I don't know if that's a lot or not compared to other things. I don't know like how thin the pan is, but this has definitely been worth it to me. Now, more recently, I picked up the Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the fair to medium. I think there's only one other shade of this, and I was shocked by how different the colors are on these. So this one's a lot more red. It's also a lot darker, but it blends out, so you can see there, but definitely a lot more red than the other bronzer, the newer one. This is $40. It's almost like always out of stock. I feel like I was shocked I could get this as a part of the sale. I did like a trio of these little wands, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was available because I just know these are out of stock so much. I think this is fine. I get why people like it. You know, it really does sheer out nicely, and so although it can look a little intimidating by how dark it kind of looked, it really does blend out nicely. I think I prefer the color on the cream in the pan, the newer bronzer, and so that's the one that I would say is worth it out of the two. It's not a bad product. I just, you know, I wish there was a better shade range, and I don't like that it leans red, even though it looks okay. I like that cream to powder matte formula that's in the new bronzer, whereas the liquid one definitely has more of like a serum-like thing, and then it dries down. It's just more liquidy, and I find the other one a little bit easier to control, at least for me and my preferences and how I do my makeup. So this one is very nice, but you guys know I love the NARS one. So, and that one's like $38. So you can definitely save some money with that one, but this one's still good on its own outside of that. Moving on, I don't have any real blushes per se, but I do have things I use as blushes, and these are some of the Beauty Light wands. The two shades that I have that I use as blushes, they kind of sub in for that. One is just the Pillow Talk. This one's more of like a true in-between of a blush and highlighter. So that's what it looks like. So pretty. I love this kind of pink color, like this beigey pink. It has such a beautiful shine on it, but it does have that kind of darker base, and that's why it doesn't work as just a highlighter. This one I specifically like using and topping over blushes. It looks so good. I love, 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 love the shine on these. It's like a more intense version of the Hollywood Flawless Filter Glow. So that same thing I'm talking about where it's like this really beautiful shine that isn't too metallic, isn't too natural, isn't too sparkly, isn't too metallic. Like it's just perfect. It's so beautiful, so luxe and high-end, but there and still kind of glam. I do really like the formula and look of these. Like they're so beautiful. The newer one that I got is the medium Pillow Talk. This one definitely has a lot more of a base to it. This is what I'm using as a blush today. That's the only thing that's on my cheeks and on my nose. So pretty, like that burnt orange almost color, kind of rosy as well. Oh, I love it. It has a beautiful shine. I do think this looks nice on its own, but I also really do like it paired with other blushes just because it has so much shine on it. I really like a blushy look right now, and so adding a little more of that base pigment is nice. But these are beautiful. There's also the Spotlight wand, which is more of a highlighter formula, and I think this one's really nice as well. If you're into cream highlighters, this one is beautiful. I think whether you're doing a very simple look or you're going for some something more glam and intense, I think it works either way. I really do feel like the hype is real on the Beauty Light wands, the ones that have the shimmer, again, different than the contour ones. I think they're really good, and I do think they're worth the hype and worth the money if you're looking into one. Obviously, maybe just pick the one that's gonna work for you, whether it's a blush, highlighter, in-between hybrid type product. If you're looking for that luxe shine on your cheeks, I think you're gonna get it with these. I have a few powder highlighters as well. One that's unfortunately discontinued, and I'm so sad because it's one of my favorite products, is the Gold Bar palette. I've actually picked this up after the fact. I found someone selling it unused and I snatched this up. Okay, tell me why she's not making these anymore. Why did this get discontinued? Seriously. I love this highlighter formula. It's like one of my favorites like ever. It's that baked gelée highlighter. So it has a high shine, but it's not metallic. It's like thin, it's not too powdery. It really just dusts the cheekbones and adds such a lifted, shiny, beautiful, beautiful look. Absolutely love it. I love the shine on this. I wish she would bring these back. Even if they were individual, it'd be so good. I don't feel like any of the highlighter formulas she has out right now match up to this, stack up to this. I don't know why we got rid of something better for things that aren't as good, like they're subpar, you know? So if you have this, you know, count your blessings because it's a really good one. It really is. That being said, one of the newer highlighters that came out, this is the Pillow Talk Multi-Glow highlighter. I had to know if this was gonna be good because I had such a great experience with the Gold Bar. I was like, hopefully this will be nice. And I'm just on the fence. Like, to me, this is just a meh product. Like, if you can make this work and you like the way it looks, fucking awesome. But for me, it's just okay. It doesn't stack up against the other highlighters in my collection in any way that I feel is significant. And so, you know, I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I can review it and say all this stuff, but I don't necessarily think that you need to go out and buy it. I just don't think it's gonna be right and the best for everyone. So there is this like possibility for disappointment. The shine on this one is nice. It's a little bit actually more metallic and it has a bit of that pink base. There's like a lot of pink going on. There was another one that was a little bit deeper and a little bit bronzier that came out with this same packaging. One of the things I actually don't like about it is there are these like sparkles within this highlighter and I just feel like it cheapens it a little bit, honestly. And I'm not actually opposed to sparkles in highlighters. I have some that really have some glow. I really like that look coming out of my eye. Like, I can get down with a glittery highlighter. I just don't like it in this formula, and with the coloring and just everything, it's just not there. Packaging 10 out of 10. Like, it's so cute. I love the embossing and imprint, but actual product doesn't match up to that to me. Oh my gosh, I went to go try to find this on at least Sephora to try to tell you the price, but I didn't see it on there. I knew this was limited edition, but I didn't realize that it wouldn't be available at Sephora for like that quick. It just came out this year, earlier this year. I don't know, you're not really missing out, I guess. Anyway, the only other highlighter that I've tried from her, I'll put a picture of it here. I actually don't have any more. I did not like it. It was very powdery. It was in this big silver plastic packaging. It was like as big as this, but a highlighter. I didn't really love that. The packaging was like the same weight as this, but I just felt like it felt a little cheap. And then the actual powder itself, I just thought was a little powdery. It didn't have the shine I want. It definitely wasn't that baked gelée formula, which is just my preference. And so I just felt like it kind of looked thick on the cheek. It never gave the shine I wanted. You could just see it so much. And I just felt like you had to work it. I kind of wish I didn't declutter it so I could know what it's like now. I'm definitely into trying products over time, maybe different brushes, maybe really buffing it in would have been a better thing. But for the impressions that I do have for the time that I had that, definitely not worth the money. Definitely not a good product on its own. Even if it was cheaper, I didn't like it. I did not like that one. All right, moving on from that, let's talk about some eye products. I have some quads. I feel like these are a pretty popular product. They're pretty expensive at $52 or $54. 53, some are more luxe. I have 3 from basically the normal line, but I also have this limited edition one. Overall, I would say finding the right quad for you, if you're into this type of formula of eyeshadow, so something that's a little bit more everyday, some satins, not a lot of mattes, maybe not the most pigment, something giving you that kind of casual luxe look, then I think you could be into them. There are some fun sparkles. They usually do like a pop of sparkle in the quads, and I really like those. So I think they can be worth it, especially if it's going to be a product you use every single day or often, like your easy go-to look, then you're really going to get a lot of use out of it, and I think that can be more worth it for such an expensive foreshadow palette. You guys already know I love my Exaggerize quad. It's in a video I did talking about small or pocket palettes. I'll leave that down below if you haven't checked that out. You want to see some other ones that I enjoy, because I only put one from each brand in there, so it's not full of Charlotte Tilbury. Anyway, I love this color on me. These types of colors just look so good. I look pretty in this every single time I wear it. I feel so good, and I love the colors in here. So love Exaggerize, that's my favorite. The limited edition one I picked up is another one I really do enjoy. This actually has a really fun duochrome in here. It's like a gold to a pink, and I think it's really nice. It's what I'm wearing on my lids today. I'm wearing quite a few different things, but that is one of the shades, at least on my eyes. This is all shimmer, and I like all the shimmers in here. So this one's nice. I don't use it nearly as much as the Exaggerize, but I do enjoy it. And then the other two that I have actually were freebies for shopping during the sale. If you like hit a certain amount, they give you different free things. And you know, for a $50 quad, I'm not complaining. So one here, this is the Bella Sophia. I don't use this one as much. I don't know if I would buy this quad outright, right? But I do like the formulas. It's still that like satiny formula. I really love the highlighter shade. There's like a highlighter shade in every single one of these quads, which can get a little repetitive, and obviously a highlighter shade like that's not going to work for everyone necessarily. It's not necessarily universal, but I will say I do use them in the quads because I tend to do a full eye look with quads when I am going into one, and I do really like using them on the brow bone and inner corner. I've created some really beautiful looks when I have used this, but I will say just color story wise, it's not something I'm super drawn to initially. And then today the quad that I use is the Walk of No Shame, which I feel like this is a very classic Charlotte Tilbury color story. A lot of her stuff tends to go pink and kind of red and orangey, very warm. And so I was excited to get to try this one out. I used this on the outer corner today, but I really don't like the pop that's in here. I just, every time I use it, I don't love it. So this quad's definitely not my favorite, even though I think a lot of people probably like it. Although Pillow Talk seems to be the thing for Charlotte Tilbury, and I don't have nearly any of those products. But yeah, I'm still kind of getting my footing. I think I easily could just have the other two. I don't think any of the ones I got for free I would purchase. And since I got them for free, I don't have to factor the cost in, so I think they're fine, but I don't think I would purchase them. Moving on to some cream eyeshadow products. I have 3 of the potted cream shadows. These are called the Eyes to Mesmerize. I started out initially with Oyster Pearl, and I do really like this one. I love shades like this, that kind of like minky brown bronze thing where it's not too warm, but it is a bronze. I love that type of color, and Oyster Pearl is very much that. This is pretty sheer. In a swatch, even on my own hand, it looks like it's gonna show up more than it does on the eyes. It's very subtle, at least to me, on the eyes, but I think it's really pretty. If you're someone who likes a very easy, minimal look, but you still wanna look put together and kind of luxe, I think it's beautiful. I really do. I don't have issues really with these creasing or like looking bad or wearing badly throughout the day. So I do like this, although I just want to preface it's going to be subtle, or at least in my experience, it's a very subtle eyeshadow. And the prices on these are $34 a piece. Now she recently came out with 3 new shades, and I bought 2 of them. I bought one in the Exaggerize because you guys know I love the quad, and I was really excited about this, and I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced specifically with the color. The formula is pretty similar. I find the new ones, at least the 2 that I have, are a little bit more sparkly, like they have more individual sparkle to them. But I think the thing that kind of throws me off about this one for being called Exaggerize is that I find the Exaggerize quad to be a little bit more cool toned, not nearly this warm. And the base on it is so warm, almost kind of like a yellowy bronzy type color with this silvery sheen on top. I love that silver sheen. I can see where you're going with Exaggerize on that, but with the warm base, it's just a little odd. And putting it on my eyes, I just didn't feel like the shimmer translated as much as I wanted it to. And I definitely don't think it stands up to my love for the quad of the same name that it's like kind of going after. So I don't love this one. If I could go back, I probably wouldn't pick that one up if I knew what it looked like in person and kind of what my thoughts are right now. The other one though, Mulit-Glow, I think this one's really pretty. It's a duochrome. I'm wearing it today as kind of a base because it's very similar to the duochrome shade that's in the Celestial Pop of Pearls palette, which is that limited edition one that I showed. It's a very bright yellow golden shift to a pink. It has a little bit of sparkle to it. I think it's very fun for Charlotte Tilbury, honestly. I think it looks really pretty, and I think it looks so good on its own as just this like really beautiful glow and subtle shift and duochrome. So pretty, and the sparkle really shows up in a beautiful way. If you're interested in something duochrome but not too much but still kind of fun, I think that this one is worth it. I really like it, and I'm surprised I like it more. I really thought I'd like the Exaggerize more than this one, but I definitely prefer the Mulit-Glow over the Exaggerize. At least at this point, who knows? I'm still always trying stuff, always, you know, changing a little bit, but so far it's going differently than I expected. Last for shadows, I do have some of the stick eyeshadows. These are called the color Chameleons. I got this as part of a 3 set, so I was excited to try a couple different colors. I did go with a little bit of the smoky options, okay? These are a little bit darker than I expected them to be. I was looking at swatches online. I really tried to put some time into picking the right colors for me, but I'm not sure how I like these. And although I think so far they're okay, are they worth the money? I think you could find other things out there in the market that do the same thing, and I just don't find anything super special about them yet. That would make me want the Charlotte Tilbury version, whereas there are other things that, even though they're expensive and maybe there's other things out there, the Charlotte Tilbury ones are still magical in and of themselves. I don't know if I get that from these. These are $29 a piece. I have the shade Bronzed Garnet, which I actually used today, and I've used a couple of times now. I like the idea of these as potentially like liners, just like that, but also just as bases, and working these in the outer corners, blending them out, then going in with shadow, kind of starting with a base. I've really been into that lately, like using cream shadows as bases, but also not just all over the eye, just in the outer corner, because these are a little bit dark. And it works okay, but when I blend this out, it just turns like, there's no garnet, there's no bronze, it just turns kind of gray looking. Like, it loses all color, and I really don't like that. Another one I got is called Dark Pearl, and this one's really pretty. I like this as a liner, but I also noticed with this that it can kind of irritate my eyes, like something about it kind of burns my eyes a little bit, so there's that. And then I have the shade Black Diamonds, which is a black with a shimmer through it, and I know that's kind of like a basic ass color, like, okay, you get a black with shimmer from like so many places, but I wanted to try this one, and it's just okay. I don't know. I don't think that these are worth $30 a piece. There are things like NYX Jumbo eye pencils that are a very similar thing, and I think are gonna give you like the same look. There's nothing I think special enough about these. I don't hate them. I don't think they're the worst. They're just not worth the money to me. I would skip out on these. I don't think they're worth it. I think my last 2 products that I have to talk about, I have one eyeliner. I got this in a set, whatever I picked out before. I think it was the Exaggerize set. It came with this. I think I could get one of the Eyes to Mesmerize and the Quad, and I kind of was just like, whatever. This is the classic eye powder pencil in the shade Shimmering Brown. I thought this was gonna be a throwaway item. Like, I was really getting the set for everything but this, and let me tell you, this is the thing I've probably used the most out of everything here. Like, why? This little shitty pencil, like, it's not shitty, I like it a lot actually, but it just, I mean, I just don't think this is gonna be a lot of people's favorite. I think I'm trying to like preface it with that. I love it. I love this not too creamy, but not too dry pencil, okay? I'm not a huge fan of twist up pencils, whether it's for lips or for eyes. I don't like something that's a little too creamy, okay? It's hard to control unless I'm using it as a base or something like that, that works. But if I'm actually using it to line, something like this formula is actually my preferred formula. It stays put without being like really creamy and then locking down. I don't need it to lock down that hardcore, but it does stay in place, and I like the little shimmering pieces in here. It's just sultry enough, and yeah, I like it. I actually really like this product. It's just solid, man, and it's one of the eyeliners I use the most, so I think this shit is worth the money. I do, I really do. But if you're looking for something super opaque, super creamy, that's not it, but it works well. well. It really does. It's what I'm wearing today. I love it. Last for makeup, I have one lip product. This was another freebie that we got, so I was excited to try it. I'm gonna look up the official name of these. I was really interested in them when they came out. These are the Hyaluronic Happikiss lipstick balms. I have the shade Romance Kiss. It's what I'm wearing on my lips today, and it's in very similar packaging to like the Makeup by Mario lip serum plumping things. You twist it up, you can't twist it down, so be careful. But I don't love this. I really don't. This has a lot of pigment for it being a moisturizing balm. So if you like a lot of pigment, that's great. It's very glossy. I don't find it super moisturizing, and it's kind of sticky and heavy. I wanted something way more plush and way more, yeah, moisturizing or less pigmented, more balmy, and it really is like just a juicy lipstick to me. I do think if you're looking for something with more longevity, it's gonna stick, you know? And so that might be a plus for you depending on what you're looking for, but for $34, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. There's so many great lip products at like a $20 price point, maybe $25, that I don't think you need this. I also felt like the packaging was like, it's pretty, but very lightweight. It just doesn't feel worth $34 at all. If you're in that price point, $34, even up to $40, like why not go for Gucci? Why not, you know what I mean? Like, let's just go there. Let's go designer all the way, you know? So yeah, I don't love this. The color's okay. I don't know, you have to let me know what you guys think of it, but I was very excited, and I'm glad I didn't buy them back in the day when they first came out, because they're not balmy enough for me. Like, I want more balm. All right, last, I'm gonna leave it here with the perfume, okay? I do Scent Sunday videos, if you guys don't know. Every single Sunday I post a fragrance video, and so I'm into perfumes, and I love when makeup brands have perfumes. I have quite a few now. I'm planning on doing a video at some point, but I just have the small size of the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is called Scent of a Dream. This size retails for $75, but the 100 ml is $130. I don't feel like that's too off for pricing necessarily, especially with a luxury brand. But let's actually get into the scent of this. I know this is not going to be for everyone. I find this to be very vintage smelling. I was excited because on Fragrantica, it's like described as something that's woody and warm, spicy and ambery, and I do usually like perfumes like this, but I really just get a lot of warm, powdery florals more than woody notes in this. So the list of notes, just so you guys know, there's black pepper, bergamot, saffron, peach, lemon, and mandarin in the top, patchouli, tuberose, violet, incense, and jasmine in the mid, and then isoe super, ambroxan, hedoin, and woody notes in the base. I don't smell any of the ambroxan, any of the isoe super, which are notes I tend to love. I feel like I get the patchouli. It's a very well blended scent in that it's hard to pick out all the little notes. Like I just don't know how anyone could be like, oh, I smell the peach. Like, do you smell peach in this? Like, you don't smell any of the notes individually. And so to me, it's just kind of this warm, buzzing, powdery, spicy, floral cloud that comes at you with patchouli also. So yeah, definitely not my favorite. I do think this would really stay on, like longevity wise. I do like the bottle, but yeah, it definitely, I think, pays homage to maybe like more vintage scents and that type of stuff than something more modern smelling for right now. It's definitely not anywhere near some of the other perfumes that are popular. So I like having it, don't get me wrong, in my collection, but it's not one that I wear, and I wore it today just to like, you know, feel it, and I had it on the whole time I was getting ready. But it maybe feels a little mature and also just not exactly my style of perfume. I wish it was like woodier or less powdery, I guess, smelling. So anyway, I'd love to know any of your thoughts on these products. What do you like from Charlotte Tilbury? What do you not like? I feel like at this point I've tried a decent amount of stuff, but then I also, in the same breath, I'm like, wait, I haven't tried any of the blushes. I haven't tried the powder, which I know everyone loved, like the pressed powder, and they have the translucent one coming out soon. I haven't tried any complexion products really. I also haven't tried any of the Pillow Talk like lip liners, lipsticks, anything like that, which is a huge thing for the brand. So yeah, as much as I have tried, I also haven't tried everything, or even all of the hero products. So let me know what you love and what you don't love from Charlotte Tilbury down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hearing my thoughts on some of the products. And of course, let me know if you want to see this type of video with any of the other brands in my collection. I thought it'd be fun for ones that I have a lot of different products to give you my thoughts on what's worth it and what isn't. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.